Welcome to the Midnight Hotel, where every guest leaves a story behind.
The Priest and the Flesh. Part 1. The Arrival. The priest did not remember the road that led him to the Midnight Hotel. That realization disturbed him more than the storm. One moment, he had been driving through endless rain toward the northern cathedral ruins where the remaining bishops of his order still gathered in secret. The next, his headlights had illuminated an old hanging sign swaying softly in the storm wind. Midnight Hotel. Nothing else. No city lights. No surrounding buildings. Only darkness and rain. Even later, he would struggle to remember what the exterior of the hotel had truly looked like. Whenever he tried recalling it, his thoughts became strangely uncertain. The shape of the roof escaped him. The number of floors changed each time he remembered it. At times, he could have sworn the building resembled an ancient Gothic cathedral. At others, a funeral home. Yet somehow, despite the unease clawing at his instincts, he had stopped the car anyway. Perhaps because the storm had become unbearable. Or perhaps because something inside the chained suitcase resting beside him had grown unusually quiet the moment the hotel appeared. The priest disliked that possibility more. Rain poured violently across the stone steps leading toward the entrance. Towering ebony doors stood before him, their dark polished wood glistening beneath flickering lantern light. Ancient silver handles rested at their center, tarnished by age yet still immaculate. The priest tightened his grip on the suitcase. Heavy iron chains wrapped around it completely now, each link engraved with faded scripture from a language few living men could still read. His order had once been feared. Now it was barely remembered. Which, perhaps, was safer for everyone. The moment the priest pushed open the doors, warmth swallowed him. Not ordinary warmth. The kind one feels stepping inside from a nightmare. The lobby stretched before him in silence. A long crimson carpet divided the room perfectly from the entrance all the way toward the reception desk at the far end of the hall. The fabric looked ancient, woven with faded golden patterns resembling crowns, roots, and eyes hidden subtly within the design. Tall windows lined both sides of the lobby, 4 to the left and 4 to the right, each draped with enormous velvet curtains dark enough to resemble drying blood beneath the dim chandelier light. Rain hammered against the glass beyond them. To the left rested several elegant black sofas surrounding low coffee tables carved from dark oak. A gramophone quietly played soft jazz nearby, its music crackling faintly beneath the storm. To the right stood a grand fireplace where pale flames danced slowly despite the absence of any visible wood. Shelves of ancient books climbed the walls around it, interrupted occasionally by glass display cases containing strange artifacts the priest could not immediately understand. A cracked silver mask. A compass whose needle moved constantly, a preserved black rose sealed inside crystal. Above the fireplace hung an enormous painting depicting a city standing upside down beneath a crimson sky. The priest stared at it for several seconds longer than he intended. Something about the painting made his stomach tighten. The hotel smelled faintly of old paper, candle smoke, polished wood, and rain. Near the entrance stood a towering grandfather clock quietly ticking away the seconds. Beneath it hung another painting. Not of people. Never people. This one showed an endless black ocean beneath a moon far too large for the sky surrounding it. The priest quickly looked away. At the end of the carpet stood the reception desk. Dark wood. Tall enough to conceal much of the lobby behind it. Upon its surface rested a massive guest registry bound in black leather, several fountain pens, a brass hourglass slowly draining silver sand, and a small bell polished to a mirror shine. Behind the desk stretched the wall of keys. Hundreds of them. Perhaps thousands. each hanging from neatly labeled compartments carved deep into the wall itself. Too deep. The priest noticed immediately that the spaces behind the keys vanished into complete darkness several inches inward, as though the wall possessed impossible depth. And standing behind the desk was the man watching him. Perfectly still. Perfectly composed. He wore a black three-piece suit untouched by imperfection, along with dark gloves that concealed his hands entirely. His posture remained elegant, almost aristocratic, while silver chains from an old pocket watch rested against his vest. At first glance, he appeared young. Then the priest met his eyes, and immediately understood something was deeply wrong. Not dangerous. Not openly. But ancient. The man smiled politely and gave slight bow. "Welcome," he said calmly, his voice smooth and measured, "to the Midnight Hotel." Thunder rolled softly beyond the stained glass windows. The man continued. "Where every guest arrives for a reason, whether they understand it or not." The priest felt his grip tighten slightly around a chained suitcase. The chandeliers flickered once overhead. And whether burden, grief, sin, or something far less cooperative. The man continued gently, "The Midnight Hotel offers sanctuary equally to all." His eyes briefly lowered toward the suitcase before calmly returning to the priest's face. "You own this place?" the priest asked carefully. The man inclined his head slightly. "I am its host." Something about the wording felt unusual. Not, "the host." Not, "a host." Simply, "its host." The priest hesitated briefly. "Mr. Host." "Just the host," the man corrected softly. Polite. Gentle. Yet somehow final. The priest nodded slowly. "I did not intend to stop here. Few guests do." Rain battered the windows harder now. The jazz music near the lounge crackled softly through the lobby while the grandfather clock continued its steady ticking somewhere behind him. Then, something knocked softly from inside the suitcase. Both men looked down immediately. The iron chains wrapped around the leather case tightened with a metallic groan. The host remained perfectly calm. Interesting. Most men reacted poorly to sounds coming from within that case. The priest studied him carefully. "You are remarkably composed." "One must maintain composure in hospitality," the host replied faintly. The priest stepped closer toward the reception desk. Up close, the man became somehow more unsettling. Not because he appeared threatening. Because he appeared utterly undisturbed. As though storms, strange luggage, and midnight arrivals were ordinary occurrences within these walls. "You have traveled far," the host observed. "Yes. And with purpose." The priest remained silent for several moments before finally answering. "I am on my way north." The host waited patiently. "There are still members of my order gathered there," the priest continued quietly. "At St. Vesper Cathedral." For the first time, something faint shifted behind the host's eyes. "Recognition. A rare order," he said softly. The priest gave a humorless smile. "Most believe we no longer exist. Most people believe many inaccurate things." The room fell quiet again. Then the host reached for the guest registry and opened it carefully. "You may find room 208 suitable for the evening," he said. He lifted a fountain pen. Then calmly spoke without looking up. "Jacob Maracuzzi." The priest froze. The storm outside groaned violently. Slowly. Very slowly. The priest looked back up at him. "I never told you my name." The host finally met his eyes again. "No," he agreed softly. The priest about to ask how the host knew his name, when all of a sudden, from inside the suitcase, something scratched back.